heat wave and not an indicator that by the time July, August, September hit, that it's, you know, going to be hotter than blue blazes. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Continuum of Care meeting. Nice to see all your lovely faces. Hello from Valley Restart. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Karen.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Let's see who else is in. Is that Leonard? Leonard, are you in the house?
I'm in the house.
Welcome. Let's see who else is here. Becky, hello. Let's see.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Greg. Hi, Kendra. You look so beautiful in your pink outfit.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
That color is great on you.
Thank you so much.
What's everybody doing? Don't be shy. What are we up to now? Let's see the number of people. Let's see. Oh, I'm having a little slide mishap here for the view. Give me a second here. View. Okay. All right. For some reason it's not showing me like, oh, 43. Okay, we're up to 43 people right now. Is that what you guys see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, in the interest of time, we have a big meeting today, so we're going to go ahead and dive right into the meeting. I'd like to welcome you all to the March 18th Continuum of Care meeting. I hope you all are having a beautiful day. Welcome to spring. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the first slide. So if you haven't already, Clarice put in the link for you to, if you are a voting member, please make sure that you sign in, because we do have a few action items today. So we want to make sure that we do have a quorum. So if you have not signed in, please make sure you take the time to do that. I would like to highlight, you guys, it's time to get excited. I want you to take a look at the list of the new members, because we got a lot. So this is something to celebrate. And then the new members, we want you to have 3 consecutive meetings so you can transition to voting members, because each agency, there's power in the representation of each agency. And remember, all of the policies are established and then at the Continuum of Care level and fed up to the Board of Governance. So you guys have an important role, and I hope that you will realize how important you are and how we value your perspective. So I'm going to take a quick just overview. After I say all the names, if you're in the house, give a shout out. Riverside County Office on Aging, Rebirth Homes, RPYA, Inland County's Legal Service. Clarissa, are you able to mute that for me? I think there's someone that
Yes, I just muted them.
Okay, thank you. Inland County's Legal Services, Operation Grace, Managed Career Solutions, Riverside Legal Aid, Seniors and Veterans Deserve Better, Charmony Foundation, The Place for Grace. Wow, are any of you in the house? If you are, raise your hands or give a shout out. We'd love to just give you a big, huge Continuum of Care welcome to the table, because the table is big in the County of Riverside, and we welcome all stakeholders to be a part of this important effort to prevent and end homelessness. Okay. we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. At this time, the Continuum of Care will entertain public comments. Clarice, did we receive any written comments for the record?
I did not receive any written comments.
Okay. And if we had everybody, they would be available to you in the Google Drive when you get the invitation to the meeting. Just know if there are written comments that are to be submitted for the Continuum of Care, they would be in the Google Drive. But as a matter of protocol, I do mention that. Are there any representatives, community members that would like to make comments? If you'd like to make a public comment, please raise. Okay, I see Shalala. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, everyone. Is everyone able to hear me? We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hi, I'm Shalia from the city of Riverside, and I'm stepping in for Michelle Davis. She's not able to attend today, but she did want to let me have you guys know that our ESG application is going to be open. Right now, I'm actually working with Clarice to get approval for you guys to send out an email blast to all of your service partners so that we can let everyone know that the opportunity is available and that they can apply. If you need the application and you would like to look into it, I can send it to you directly right now. I left my email in the chat box if you want to chat about it, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, but that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Great, welcome. It's nice to have you. And Michelle let us know that you were going to be here today. So we appreciate your participation. And
absolutely, no problem.
Big love and hugs to the city of Riverside. How's that?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Likewise.
Okay, so let's see. Ernesto Rodriguez.
Yeah, so I just want to share that I've been a Continuum of Care member. I think because of my attendance, so I think I need to do 3 straight to become a voting member again. And I want to share that on homelessness prevention, Time for Restoration is doing a unique model in Riverside, San Bernardino County, with the community health worker model. So what we're doing is for homelessness prevention or at risk of homelessness, that we're able to provide that preventative CHW service. And then we're using those reimbursement dollars to place them in emergency transitional type housing. So we're doing that and subcontracting with organizations throughout the county. And I just want to put that out there that our program is doing really good. We have over 100 members that we have housed right now in the efforts of reducing homelessness. So anybody wants to touch bases to learn about the program and how we can subcontract and provide those Medi-Cal dollars to do that work, I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have questions, like if you still need to have your organization fill out the letter for designation, you can always email cfc@rivco.org or make a request in the chat so that you can close the loop to become a voting member, because that's would be great. And we really appreciate you taking the time for public speaking. Thank you, Ernesto. Okay, Kendra, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Kendra Tankersley Davis, the new Executive Director for Operation Safe House, and I am really excited to be in this meeting. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to all the future meetings to come.
Welcome. So nice to have you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else have any public comments? Okay, hearing none. Let's go to the next agenda item. Leadership Spotlight, one of my favorite items on the agenda. I love them all, but I think it's just so important to take time, all of us, to hear from amazing leaders in this space, whether they are in the government space or the nonprofit or educational space. And today we have with us somebody who many of you already know, our dear Emma Perez Singh, who has a career with the County of Riverside. I think it's spanning over 20 years. And I know she's now with Community Action Partnership. And she's going to talk to you about her leadership role there, but she was part of our Continuum of Care team. And when I first met her, she was with the county's animal shelter, and part of this space also advocating to help animals. And I believe she's got amazing educational background with bachelor's and master's degree. I would love for you to tell them more about yourself, dear Emma. We're so proud of you and the journey that you've been on, and always having such a heart to be able to serve others and make a huge impact in the community. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, everyone, and I apologize ahead of time for my voice. I am currently battling some kind of upper respiratory thing, which I think is so unfair given that it's like in the 90s outside. So again, my name is Emma Perez Singh, and I am currently the Acting Executive Director at the Community Action Partnership for Riverside County, and most recently had the complete honor of serving as the Division Manager in the Office of Homeless Services, and being able to work with all of you wonderful, amazing individuals and agencies in helping to house the most vulnerable in our community. And I am pleased to be able to continue that work in helping the most vulnerable through my position at CAP. Clarice, could you please go to the next slide? Thank you. And one more. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to go over Community Action Partnership programs, who we are, what we do, to make sure that you are all familiar with our services. So Community Action as an agency was established in 1979 and serves as the county's designated anti-poverty agency. We are governed by the County Board of Supervisors, and we are also administered by a Community Action Commission. So much like the Board of Governance serves as a governing board over the Continuum of Care, CAP also has a commission. CAP Riverside operates under what's called a tripartite board, which is structured and composed of public officials, community representatives, and also low-income residents. And this structure really ensures that the voices of those most affected by poverty remain at the center of planning, policy, and program development. So CAP Riverside is part of a national network of more than 1,100 community action agencies, which were created in response to the 1964 World War on Poverty. So in California, all community action agencies, including CAP Riverside, operate in partnership with the California State Department of Community Services and Development. As the state administering agency, CSD oversees the implementation of anti-poverty programs statewide and monitors compliance and distributes federal funding and provides guidance to ensure agencies remain aligned with state and federal priorities. So we have a very close partnership with the state. CAP Riverside's core funding comes from what's called the Community Services Block Grant, which is administered federally by the Office of Community Services and distributed in California through CSD. So our funding comes from the federal government through the state down to the agency. CSVG serves as a foundational funding stream that supports program administration and establishes the framework for how local priorities are set, which is really important. Federal CSVG requirements guide CAP Riverside's planning process, mandating that resources be used to address locally identified needs and systemic barriers. So the tripartite board plays a central role in these processes by overseeing the agency's community needs assessment, which is completed every 3 years. And we're actually going to get ready to complete another one in the coming year. The CNA identifies the most pressing challenges facing low-income residents across Riverside County and really serves as the basis for CAP Riverside's strategic plan. The board uses the results to ensure that CSBG funded initiatives are data-driven and community-informed, and also align with the long-term goals that support meaningful progress towards economic stability. Next slide, please. And guided by this collaborative governance model, CAP Riverside works towards its vision that all Riverside County residents enjoy economic prosperity. Its mission is carried out by facilitating pathways to self-sufficiency through programming and education, workforce initiatives, energy assistance, and advocacy. These efforts ensure that residents have access to the tools, resources, and opportunities they need to overcome poverty and build a more secure future. Through our partnership with CSD, and because of our strong governance structure, we are really committed to a community-driven planning, and CAP Riverside continues to serve as a catalyst for reducing poverty and strengthening economic resilience through Riverside County. Next slide, please. All right, getting into our programs. The Utility Assistance Program provides essential one-time support to low and moderate income individuals and families who are struggling to afford their utility bills. Through this program, eligible households can receive help with electric, gas, and propane costs, with assistance ranging from about $300 to $1,100, the max is $1,500, depending on need. Funding for the program comes from the Federal Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which is referred to as LIHEAP, and we also have a contract with the City of Riverside Share Program, but that funding is specifically for City of Riverside utility customers. These combined resources allow CAP Riverside to reach thousands of households each year. So in 2006, CAP received $5 million in LIHEAP funding, which will support approximately 7,000 households. We figure that out based on the average assistance that we've been issuing to households, which is around $670. In the prior year, in 2025, the agency received $6.6 million, which is a reduction. You know, the 2026 allocation is a reduction from last year. And we were able to serve 8,401 households.
Wow.
Next slide, please. I wanted to provide just a little bit of information on the eligibility guidelines for those of you who are working with families that may need to access our services, or if you need to access our services, in addition to all of the locations where we're currently providing utility assistance applications in person. While the program remains eligible to all eligible applicants that meet the income criteria, CAP Riverside is prioritizing households with greatest need, specifically households meeting the income eligibility and individuals with disabilities, seniors age 60 and older, families with children under age 5. Through this approach, our UA program really helps protect the vulnerable residents from utility shutoffs and supporting household stability and ensuring that families can maintain access to safe and reliable energy services. I will be placing a link in the chat for all of our different programs and where you can find additional information on our website. I did want to highlight that if you look at the location list, you will see several family resource centers listed there. And that's really due to a partnership and the integrated services delivery model that the county has been implementing across many of our human services departments. So as individuals are coming into those family resource centers, they're being able to be assisted with utility assistance on top of any other needs that they might have. And so really meeting folks where they are. Next slide, please. All right, our weatherization program provides free energy efficiency upgrades to low-income households, helping residents reduce monthly utility bills while improving the overall health and safety of their homes. These upgrades may include the repair or installation of energy efficient appliances, improvements that promote energy conservation, and also measures that enhance the health and safety of homes occupants. Although our general application period is currently closed, CAP Riverside is actively partnering with the HWS Community and Housing Development Division to bring weatherization services directly to affordable housing communities across Riverside County. For those of you who are not aware, HWS has a Community and Housing Development Division, which is led by Juan Garcia, and their division is responsible for many of the affordable housing projects that are being built or have been built across the county. So this collaboration ensures that we are reaching the most vulnerable and low-income households, and also those who benefit the most from long-term utility savings and improved indoor comfort, and also safer living conditions. And working with CHD also allows us to coordinate services efficiently across multiple properties, which really maximizes our impact and helps keep our costs down. Our funding for weatherization program does come from the Department of Energy, and it is significantly restrictive and only allows us to spend a certain amount of money per unit. And so the funding has to be braided with other funding, which does make it a little bit more complex to manage as a program. So really reducing costs is at the key of being able to maximize those dollars that we're getting through the Department of Energy for this program. So we have a goal to complete 343 units by June 30th of 2027. And really expanding access to energy efficient, safer, and more suitable housing for families throughout the county. That's our main goal. Next slide, please. All right, we also operate a Cool and Warm Center program, which are designed to help residents stay comfortable without increasing their utility bills. So by offering an air-conditioned or heated environment, the centers allow community members to relax, cool down, or warm up, and stay safe during periods of severe weather. So during this week's extreme heat wave, CAP Riverside has worked closely with the county's emergency management department to quickly notify the public about the availability of our Cool and Warm Centers across the county. We have a website dedicated to our Cool and Warm Centers with a directory of all of the centers that the county is currently under MOU with. So these centers provide a safe and welcome space for individuals, seniors, and people with disabilities to escape dangerous temperatures and protect their health. We also provide water and light snacks for those that access the centers. We encourage agencies and residents to visit our website for the most up-to-date list. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our BOG Chair, Leticia Lara, with the Regional Access Project for being a longstanding partner and providing funding support for the cooling centers. And also to SoCal Edison, who is a partner that provides annual support for our warming centers. Next slide, please. Our Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, or VITA for short, offers free tax preparation services designed to help low to moderate income individuals secure the tax credits and refunds they've earned. To qualify for this no-cost service, households must have an annual income of $75,000 or less. So this year, CAP Riverside has partnered with 5 sites across Riverside County, Riverside Community College, the Center for Employment Training, or CET in the Desert, Norco College, Moreno Valley College, and also Starting Over Inc., which I'm sure all of you are aware of as an agency. They've been a longstanding COC partner. Through these partnerships, we're able to expand access to high quality IRS certified tax preparation services across the county. And the program supports a wide range of taxpayers, including low to moderate income households, excuse me, seniors, persons with disabilities, and individuals with limited English proficiency. Our VITA volunteers are trained and are able to ensure accurate, secure, and timely tax filing to maximize refunds and credits for eligible residents. Next slide, please. A lot of folks are not aware that we also have a mediation and alternative dispute resolution program, which provides no-cost confidential mediation services to help individuals resolve conflicts peacefully and constructively. And this is through a strong partnership with the state of California courts. And we offer mediation services to Riverside County court litigants, giving community members access to alternatives that can save time and reduce stress and also reduce the burden on our court system. Mediation services are provided on site at the courthouse in Palm Springs, Banning, Moreno Valley, Corona, and Menifee, and are funded and supported by the county. So in addition to receiving cases directly from the court, we also work closely with law enforcement and community partners, allowing us to support a wide range of individuals and family who may be experiencing conflict in their homes, neighborhoods, or personal lives. To sustain this vital service, we recruit and train volunteer mediators through a structured certification program, and the EDR program provides community members with the opportunity to become certified mediators, gain valuable skills, and make a meaningful impact by helping others resolve disputes outside of the courtroom. And I also like to note that this program has a structured curriculum that helps our mediators obtain the skills they need to help the individual parties work through their conflict towards a solution. And I've been in communication with internal staff at Office of Homeless Services just to discuss how we could potentially leverage this curriculum to help support some of the work that's being done behind shared housing initiatives. Just as a side note, we're in very early stages of analysis and communication, but I just wanted to share that with everyone. Next slide, please. And as part of our integrated HWS services supported by CSBG and our overall initiative, CAP Riverside's work is deeply integrated within the HWS, aligning our efforts with both the Office of Homeless Services and Workforce Development, which are two sister divisions working towards the shared goal of economic stability and long-term self-sufficiency for the clients that we serve. Through the flexibility of the CSBG funding, we are able to strengthen and expand critical initiatives in a coordinated and strategic way. So as an example, using 2025 CSBG funding, CAP Riverside is supporting a range of wraparound services designed to meet the needs of some of the county's most vulnerable residents. And this includes providing supportive services to our transitional age youth, helping young people overcome barriers to stability. Also, CSBG funding is being used to provide rental assistance and eviction prevention through households at risk of homelessness so that they can remain safely housed and avoid entering the crisis response system. So for 2026, CSBG funding, it will support HWS Office of Homeless Services as well as workforce development through the Pathways Home Initiative. Which is a coordinated approach that offers both rental assistance and a pathway to employment concurrently through direct referrals to our workforce development division. So by combining housing stability with workforce opportunities, the initiative will help 100 households secure long-term independence and also reduce the likelihood of returning to homelessness. So through these integrated efforts, CAP Riverside, OHS, and Workforce are able to deliver a seamless client-centered system that really addresses housing, workforce, and supported services together, ensuring that residents have the tools they need to not just survive, but to really thrive. Next slide, please. Thank you for staying connected with CAP Riverside and supporting the work we do across the county. As we continue strengthening our programs and expanding opportunities for residents, We are also committed to uplifting community voices in our decision-making process. So I wanted to share, since I have a captive audience here, that we are currently holding an election for our District 5 low-income alternate representative, which is an important role that helps ensure our tripartite board reflects the lived experiences of the community we serve. We invite all members of the COC to participate and support this effort. I will be including a link in the chat for you to access, and please feel free to cast your vote in real time as we wrap our election. This is actually our last day of the election period. So your engagement really helps us continue building a stronger, more equitable Riverside County. Next slide, please. And if you'd like to engage with us on social media, you can do so by scanning the QR codes there. You'll find our various social media sites and additional information. And at the bottom, if you'd like to contact us, our address and our phone number, which is our call center, is listed there along with our website. And I will go ahead and drop our links in the chat, and I can pause if anyone has any questions.
Does anybody have questions for Emma? I know I had a question, Miss Emma. I might have missed it. The weatherization program, is that solely focused on owner occupants, or do you partner with landlords for rental units?
Both rental and homeowners.
Are those just grant agreements? They're not like a loan. It's just a grant agreement that they sign.
Yeah, we have subcontractors that we work with that will go out and do the work on our behalf, and then we pay the subcontractors for the work.
The other question I had of you is, what are the most common cases that you guys are resolving for your ADR? I'm just curious, because like, would you automatically be, you wouldn't really be delving into like landlord tenant, you'd send that to fair housing. So what are some examples?
So the one that I job shadowed for was actually an automobile accident. So it was a small claim. And it was between the two persons that were in the accident and the insurance company. They both had the same insurance company. So it's really small claims court, so it can vary depending on the type of, situation that would go there.
Is it like a dollar threshold?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Yeah, it really isn't. It was interesting. I felt like I was in live court TV.
Wow, just so many great programs, and it's so wonderful to see how HWS, with each of its divisions, is integrating resources as part of this larger tapestry. That is so important because you can really, move the needle to help more people see more results when you're integrating together. Just good job, and we're so proud of you, Emma. It sounds like you're really loving your new tour of duty.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the invitation to present.
And feel better. Now you need to get some chicky soup and a warm blankie and get some sleep.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay, so did you want me to jump off or did you want to lead off, Miss Tanya?
I'm good with you leading. I'll jump in.
Okay, so we've been talking about this and just throughout my history as a chair of the Continuum of Care and in working with Tanya and the HWS team, we've felt that it's so important to get out into the community, to see people face to face, to see the organizations and the services that they provide in living color. And it's, everybody gets so busy and time gets away from you, but we decided that we're going to rip the Band-Aid and we're going to make time to get out into the community. And it's not only because we want to get out there to spend time with you all, but it's just such a wonderful opportunity to take a reflection and feel so happy about the work that we do, because let's face it, this work is difficult. And so when you can take a moment and a breather to reflect on all the accomplishments that are happening through all the different partners, it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm still walking on cloud nine. And I want to really give a shout out to Tanya and her team, because in a very short amount of time, this was sort of a last minute thing that started with a lunch with Angelina Co from Shelter from the Storm that evolved into some tours. So before we go into highlighting some of the providers, Tanya, did you want to say anything before we go to the next slide?
Sure, just to say that I also really enjoy getting out into the community and meeting with your different agencies, your different teams that are on the ground and doing the work, but also your administrative teams that we get to interact with as part of our technical assistance calls on a monthly basis, or when we have monitoring or audits, if you're a subrecipient of ours. But we also know that what makes our continuum of care really impactful is that we have many informal relationships with agencies who partner with us without a formal agreement, and are providing or working with us through coordinated entry to connect people to housing and services. And so the intent here is really to make sure that we're reaching out to as many partners as possible, not just those that we have agreements with, to see the work that's happening on the ground. So as Karen mentioned, we want to do more of these. The Continuum of Care Board of Governance has also expressed an interest in wanting to do regional tours. And so our team, Clarice, has been helping me coordinate those, and those are going to be up and coming really, really soon. And so our hope is to get out into every district and have tours that are scheduled on a monthly basis. So we'll be reaching out to you, and if you have a specific project or would like us to come out to visit your site, let us know. Again, we're really wanting to have more FaceTime interaction and really get a sense of, yes, what's working, but also where are there gaps, and what are your biggest challenges. I think that's the main question that I ask is, yes, I want to hear your success stories, but also what are your pain points? What makes your work hard? Where are the resource challenges, so that we can, help your agencies, help your teams look for potential solutions, and of course, keep an eye out for any grant opportunities that can help our entire system. So thank you, Karen, for leading this effort, and I'm excited that we're going to get to share with folks what we learned.
Yeah, so let's go to the next slide. So our first stop was Shelter from the Storm with Miss Angelina. I know she's on. And in honor of domestic violence, you will see that even the colors on the slide are in purple, the color representing helping victims of domestic violence. And we had the opportunity to actually see the shelter itself. You will see photos of the home. It's a beautiful home. And it was wonderful to see the shelter itself, but also to talk to Angelina and her staff about the complexities of serving victims of domestic violence. And I think all of us know that oftentimes domestic violence calls are some of the most dangerous for first responders, but also, if we don't get a handle on domestic violence, we hear about the unfortunate, horrible thing that can happen. So it's so important to be able to have resources to protect not only the mothers, but their children. And so, Angelina, we just want to thank you for opening up your organization. We got to see your beautiful shelter, but also your headquarters, which is like amazing with all of the different services that you provide on site at your headquarters. Did you want to say anything? Because we just were so blessed coming to spend time with you.
It was truly a blessing to have you guys join us and to actually have you tour the house, which is a rarity. We don't do it often, especially when we're full, but right now we're at a number flow where we're not as occupied as we'd like to be. But we definitely enjoyed it, and it was a blessing to have the opportunity to share what we're doing. And we're here for that reason. And we're celebrating 38 years of services in the Coachella Valley, so it was perfect timing. God's timing is always perfect. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I'll just say this to you, other nonprofits out there. Angelina has been in this space a very long time. She's very well respected in the foundation community and private sector partners, and does amazing work in terms of fund development. That's remarkable. And being able to partner for government resources as well as integrating private sector and foundation money is critical for sustainability, but also flexibility. We always need flexible funds to meet various needs. She's also well respected out in that area of the desert region in Coachella Valley. And we're certainly fortunate to have her on the board of governance. So it was wonderful. Thank you so much, Angelina. Ms. Tanya, any comments before we go to the next slide?
Nope, just thank you, Angelina, for making that time for us. This was, interesting enough, one of my first times walking into a domestic violence shelter in the Coachella Valley. So I was just touched by how warm and inviting the home was. I think what really drew my attention was this beautiful playground in the backyard. The grass was green. There was paint on the walls that just welcomed the kids that were there. And I'm so grateful that we have spaces like that to welcome children who are coming from very unsafe and traumatic events and environments. So thank you, Angelina, to you and your entire team and board.
Yeah, and just to be transparent. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angelina.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Tanya. I just wanted to share and kind of go off of what you both just said. All the furniture that we have in the house as of recent was through a tribal grant that we got. So don't be scared to ask the tribes to help you furnish your agencies and really support that way. And then the playground was redone completely by a grant through our local Toyota car dealership. They reached out to us for an in-service project, and then they donated money and they redid the whole backyard. And I didn't include a picture of that, but um, know that we went out in the community and leveraged funding to make sure our home is just that, a home. So thank you so much, ladies.
Yes, and it was just if you get an opportunity to get together and have fellowship with your those that are in this space, I will tell you it's such a relief. We had tears and laughter and hugs, and just it was really, really a great time of bonding. So I really encourage you guys to think about that collaboration with other providers in the region. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So we had the opportunity, the next stop was the College of the Desert, and they have a partnership with Jewish Family Services. I was completely blown away at the depth of the partnership, because the college has really stepped up to bring a lot of different partners to the table, to be able to provide a wide variety of homeless students. They have a very large homeless student population. And it was so great to see the partnership with Jewish Family Services for case management and rapid rehousing. And that was another one. One of the case managers was formerly homeless and began to tell us, I forget how many years he was homeless in Palm Springs, like 12 years. And he talked about his journey and also reaching out to people in remote areas. He just became very emotional. He had everybody in the room crying. It was just to hear his story and his journey of success. is just such a great reminder of why we do what we do. And the college is beautiful. The desert is just gorgeous anyway. I couldn't, I just had to marvel at how beautiful you can see the surroundings. We walked outside of a big conference room that we met in. Tanya, did you want to say anything about that partnership?
Yeah, just to say that, we can't underestimate the importance of relationships. And once again, I'm going to highlight sometimes like the informality. College of the Desert had been reaching out to our office, sending referrals for students who were housing insecure during, the early 2020. And at that time, we were fortunate that we had some ESGCV CARES Act funding and had partnerships with many community-based organizations, one of those being Jewish Family Services, that was covering the region where they are located in Palm Desert. And so we facilitated a connection, and for many years those two agencies worked together informally. Just, every time the college had a student, they would call JFS, and JFS would utilize existing resources and supports they had to help. I think it was just last year that the college was able, and really through Jocelyn, she's the one wearing the pink sweater, standing right next to Karen, who oversees the basic needs program at the College of the Desert, was able to persuade the College of the Desert board to dedicate general funds to support a housing assistance program that is funded through the college. And that agreement or partnership is now formally carried out through Jewish Family Services of the Desert. So it's great to see that we are having more and more of these partnerships come to life. You hear us often talk about the limited resources that come to our continuum of care and to our county, and how important it is to look at other funding sources to help expand our reach. And so this is a key example of one of them. Kudos to Jewish Family Services for maintaining that relationship for many years, using whatever resources they had, even when ours, we gave them, expired. And I'm so excited to see this program even into the future.
And then we also had the opportunity to visit with CVAG, the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, which, Greg, I hope you're on, because I know you had a large influence in this partnership, which now I believe is 8 cities that contribute funding to not only fund the staff, but to administer the program, but really comprehensive street outreach, case management, and crisis stabilization units, which I believe they lease, and they act, it's like apartments, but it acts as emergency shelter. And it's a great resource for all of the cities in the region. It's a great example of sub-regional partnerships. They had just beautiful stories of how they collaborate with all the different cities and even the partners in the region working together. It's a lot of area to cover when you think about all of those cities that fund. But what a great example of how city government working with the county and nonprofits work together to really make things happen. So I was just, and again, you can see us there in their offices, the beautiful desert behind us. And it was so neat to get to know the staff there. Tanya, did you want to talk a little bit more about them?
My hats go out. My hats go out to the entire CVAG homeless team, as well as the cities who contribute towards this model. It is very much a multidisciplinary sector, coordinated event. The team meets with law enforcement from all of the cities to identify sort of like the hardest to reach individuals, or the individuals that have regular engagements, or are frequent flyers, so to say, in each region. And I think what really stood out to me from this meeting was how well Mark Candice knew the people across all the different cities. And the second thing that impressed me was their ability to leverage. Yes, they're connecting people, be expediting them and connecting people through coordinated entry to housing opportunities that exist through that pipeline, but they're not stopping there. They're connecting people to behavioral health treatment. They know what affordable housing developments are accepting new clients and adding them to the wait list. They're doing reunification where that's possible. Really leveraging every single resource. They are experts when it comes to resources in their area. So kudos to that team as well.
Okay, next slide. This is something that in discussing with Tanya and the partners that we met with, but especially CVAG, and looking at, when you put on your city hat, those of us that work in city government, and to all of you nonprofit providers, the county is such an amazing partner and does so much across the 7,300 square mile county, but you cannot get the work done without partnering with cities. And so it was really cool to sit down and listen to the creative strategies that are happening with the 8 cities that are funding the CVAG Association. I put on my city hat, and they were excited to hear about some of the things we're doing. This is not to like toot the horn of Corona. It's to give you examples of how you can have conversations with cities, or even cities that will say, you know what, we didn't think about that. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. If Brian were with us today, he'd be like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's just, if there's another city that's using a strategy to help nonprofits to address homelessness, do it, or prevent homelessness. So sharing some of these strategies for you all to consider how, when you partner with cities, and almost every one of these strategies that are listed, the county has been an amazing partner, and then we have our nonprofit partners. So just some examples: city-owned land and funding for the operation of a shelter navigation center. That's what we do in Corona. We own the building. We have general fund allocation that operates it, and we've had grants and partners, but it started with city-owned land. The same thing with housing. We owned housing units. What an opportunity to convert those to permanent housing, and then find a nonprofit and partner with the county. We had an opportunity to get a 5-acre parcel of land that used to be owned by I don't know if I say it right. Greg, can you help me? RCTC, is that right? Riverside County Transportation.
Yeah.
So this like remnant parcel is 5 acres that we're able to partner with a developer and use low mod housing funds, and partner with the county and others to build affordable housing. One of the other things that cities can do, and the county does this really well, is rent stabilization. Mobile homes are a key part of the inventory of affordable housing. So in our city, we just adopted a rent stabilization ordinance, which basically provides rent protections because people were getting priced out of their mobile homes. They couldn't afford the spaces anymore. So that's another opportunity, and it's a great homeless prevention strategy. This is something else that's new. We are just now starting to partner with our planning and development services. They're density bonus agreements. So when there are market rate developers that go into a city and they want to build market rate housing, they can get density bonuses to build more units if they will in turn give the city affordable housing. So it's a creative way to get more housing in the ground. And then general funds that can pay for outreach, family shelter, rapid rehousing, or looking at converting a motel and partnering with a developer in the county for a home key project. or even just something as simple as general funds that can provide a nonprofit with flexible whatever it takes funds to fill a gap in your. So if you've got grants that are very restrictive and you can only fund certain things, if you have a city partner that can provide flexible funds, it can help you to provide the full range of services. So, and there are plenty of cities in our region that are doing exciting things. These are just some tools that we discussed, and it was suggested to discuss and share with you guys, whether you be a city or nonprofits that are wanting to partner with cities, because you have, I think, one of the best county governments in the state and nation. They're amazing, Riverside County. So they are a great partner. So, Tanya, anything else to add before we conclude? I know we're going to schedule more tours. Anything else to add before we move on to the next agenda item?
Just that I know everyone here knows how closely we work with Karen and the city of Corona through the Continuum of Care, the Board of Governance. But I will tell you that as she was sharing on these best practices, I was like taking notes and thinking about how we could also implement some of these on a county level. So thank you, Karen, for continuing to share what you guys are doing. I'm learning a lot, and we definitely need every idea, every strategy on the table if we really want to continue to make a big impact. And these are not easy things, right? Like as we started talking about, like, okay, well, what are the steps to make this happen? These are complicated things, but we're stronger when we can work through them together, and especially if there's a city that's already maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead. So thank you for always being willing to share.
Thank you. Okay, next agenda item. And again, I don't want to close out because Greg is like, he, did before he came to HWS, did amazing work. I think he was a forerunner in the sub-regional partnerships and did amazing things. So Greg, I just want to thank you because you started something amazing out there.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay, next agenda item. Clarice?
Did our screen freeze?
There we go. Okay. Agenda item 5.1. I'm so excited. Miss Tanya, tell us about the shared housing matchmaking system. And I like it. Matchmaking. That is so cool.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a fun one. Definitely not a new subject that we're introducing to you guys. At our last Continuum of Care meeting, Roshana Walker, our manager, talked about our plans to coordinate a shared housing strategy. And so I really just wanted to take advantage of our time today to just once again highlight this effort because there is going to be a lot of steps that we're going to need to take together to get us to implementation. So in case you were not with us during February's meeting, this strategy really focuses on building out a operation, a platform that will allow us to match individuals who are interested in finding a roommate, and will utilize a technological platform where users can build a profile and set or identify local preferences that they're looking for in a roommate, which could include geographical location, pet preference as an example, as well as what their monthly contribution for rent, as an example, could be. And the idea here is really that this would be an additional tool that we have in our toolbox to help both prevent people from entering homelessness. We have many people that are on a fixed income, many veterans, many seniors, and even families who are paying a significant share or more than 30 to 50% of their income towards rent, which often leaves them at a risky or sort of unstable situation to afford their rent, especially when they have an unexpected expense that may come up. So we definitely see it as both a prevention tool, but certainly a tool even for individuals who are currently homeless, maybe in a shelter, and are having a difficult time being able to find a unit that they can rent. We also know. I'm hearing an echo. There's something. Okay. We also know from a lot of the feedback that we have received from even our partners at Office on Aging and Adult Services that our older or aging population often struggles with loneliness. And so we definitely see this as an opportunity to, help individuals build community and supports within a shared housing space. So for today, I really just wanted to highlight that we are working on releasing two upcoming procurement opportunities. The first is to secure a vendor that can help us build out this platform. We're hoping that it will be an AI, again, technological tool where users can build their profile. And again, something that would be available countywide where matches are facilitated. The second RFP would be for an organization to actually operate the program, of course, working very, very closely with our Office of Homeless Services, because we want to make sure that we are integrating this strategy, this program with both the county's RIVCO 1 efforts, in addition to making sure that HMIS and our coordinated entry system also are integrated and serve as direct platforms so that data is easily shared and accessible. So we're excited about that. When Roshana presented last month, we received a lot of good feedback from the Continuum of Care on what they felt the system would look like. And so for now, I just wanted to share that our team is working on developing those RFPs. And as soon as they become available, we'll make sure to send out an email announcement. But definitely more to come. And I want to thank all of you. In addition to some key partners, you're all key. But I definitely want to recognize Jennifer O'Farrell with the Healthy Valley Foundation, Melanie Steele with Inland SoCal Housing Collective, Ernie from Inland Legal Aid, as well as Rebecca Spiegel with United Way, who have been really intentional about meeting with our office to see this, to offer support, but to see this strategy through. So more to come. Thank you.
No questions or comments of Tanya about this exciting initiative? Okay, thank you, Ms. Tanya. Let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Okay, this is agenda item 6.1, 2026 HMIS Charter. We do have some action to take, which Natalis will summarize at the end of his presentation. Natalis, it's lovely to have you. The floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And my name is Natalis, and I'm the Administrative Services Officer of the Continuum of Care. And so I'm here to share with everyone about the 2026 HMIS Charter. And our focus of revision this time is aligning Riverside County COC data infrastructure. And the three main focus is to make sure that we are HUD compliant, and we updated the HMIS charter based on HUD 2026 HMIS data standards. And then also when it comes to governance, we want to make it clearer, and we have removed old terminology and also system accountability to improve data quality and client privacy and operational accountability. So here's a little bit comparison of what it used to be and our current standard. And one major change is that we have moved away from 7-day data entry requirement to 3-day data entry requirement, and that was already previously approved. And then also we have clarified our structure, and we have removed the old structure of HMIS Administrator Council, and that's very old, and we have removed that. And also we use the term mandatory, and then really to encourage everyone to really do the annual refresher training and also monthly technical assistance and office hours. We are trying to provide as much support to increase the HMIS knowledge base as possible across the COC. And then, so we have also, to improve the privacy and protocols and user accountability, we have updated our release of information, so-called ROI, and interagency data sharing protocols. And our focus is upholding our clients' rights and also making sure that we are in alignment with all the like federal, state, and local laws and regulations. So and then particularly, I want to point out that we are currently offering 2 complementary HMIS Looker upgrades provided for per agency. They do have a cost, but then the COC has been absorbing that cost, and we will continue to provide those 2 complementary Looker upgrades. And then we understand that some agencies may need more than 2. So we would like to seek approval to provide optional additional purchase upgrades, and currently priced at $130 per user per year. And so for agencies who would like to go beyond the complementary Looker upgrades, hopefully they would have the opportunity to. And of course, annually there would be like adjustments of cost increase, and then so that is understandable. So the cost is subject to change and at a reasonable rate with or without notice. So when it comes to system impact of the 2026 charter, again, compliance and data reliability, and also coordinated care, and to outlining more clearly the role of the HMIS lead agency responsibilities. So finally, here are our asks, and we would like to ask for approval for the 2026 HMS Charter. And I would like to thank Clarice who provided the link in our chat. And very early on in our meeting at 3:04, it's the link. I know that there are multiple links, and the link with the big Google G, and that is a link to our meeting documents. And then inside the documents, and for those people who would like to review the big documents, and then we have uploaded 3 versions there. One is the clean draft that has all the attachments and all the exhibits, and the other one is highlighted with changes. And then for those people who would like to know what were the wordings before, and then what is now the exact redlined ones, and then there is also a redlined document, and they were uploaded last week. Hopefully for those people who are interested in reading it thoroughly, you had a chance to over the weekend. And also we are asking to the COC board to authorize HMIS unit Looker offerings, which was mentioned before, to offer beyond the 2 complementary upgrades at the additional cost for the agencies. So that concludes my my presentation, and I'm hoping that the COC board would approve these actions.
Okay, first of all, Clarice, before we take action, can you tell me if we have met a quorum?
We have. Yes.
Okay, so we have two actions I'd like to take together. The first is to approve the 2026 HMIS charter. The second is to authorize HMIS unit liquor offerings as was described by Natalis. Do I have a motion to approve?
Rainbow Marlar with Safe House. I'll move to approve.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Come on, don't be shy.
Candace Bag, I second.
Thank you. Do I have any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, the item passes. Thank you, Natalis. Good job.
Great, thank you very much.
All right. And that's pretty exciting to have those new enhancements, by the way. And all of you, we should be thanking HWS because not all counties are created equal, and they've been figuring out a way to be able to subsidize the licenses to give as many users access. They really do a good job that way, and to see them doing what they can to enhance the opportunities for the system. You can't show success if you don't have data. And so the system is a foundation to our region along with the coordinated entry system. So thank you to the HWS team. We really appreciate it. Okay, agenda item 6.2, new Medi-Cal and CalFresh requirements. We have Juanita Lopez and Kamisha, is it Rowles? You have the floor. Say it again.
Kamisha Rose.
Kamisha Rose, thank you. I'm so sorry if I didn't say it right. All right, ladies, we're so excited to hear from you.
Right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kamisha Rose. I am a regional manager with the Department of Social Services with Self-Sufficiency. And I have my partner, Juanita Lopez and Kimberly Sandoval, that will be helping me with this presentation on our changes to the CalFresh and Medi-Cal work requirements. You can go to the next slide. So our purpose is House Resolution 1 is bringing some changes to our CalFresh and Medi-Cal programs for the Riverside County residents. We're going to be having new work requirements and community engagement requirements that apply to our CalFresh program, which is now our ABOD, able-bodied adults without dependents, and our adults that are enrolled in our Medi-Cal programs. What our state is that if they fail to meet these requirements, 86,000 CalFresh customers will be affected. And for our Medi-Cal, it would be 316,000 that would be affected. Our goal today is to share with you guys the details of our new programs requirements, explain to you the impacts to our communities, and explore some ways of some partnerships to support our residents to keep them with their benefits. Next slide. So our agenda, we're going to first start with our CalFresh ABOD work requirements, which will be Ms. Juanita Lopez, and our Medi-Cal work requirements will be Ms. Kimberly. And I'll pass it on to Ms. Juanita. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Juanita Lopez, Regional Manager of the Department of Public Social Services. So I will share with you who is an ABOD. An ABOD is a CalFresh customer who is between the ages of 18 and 64 and is able-bodied, is without a dependent child under the age of 14, and does not meet an exemption from the CalFresh 3-month time limit rule. Next slide, please. And I'll share with you how to satisfy the ABOD work requirement. ABOD subject to the time limit can satisfy the work requirement in several ways. The requirements are 80 hours monthly in one or a mix of the following activities. Work, either seasonal work, will be an average of $580 over the last 6 months. And monthly earned income is at least 80 times the federal hourly minimum wage, equivalent to $580, including but not limited to participating in qualifying work activities such as employment, CalFresh Employment and Training, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA programs, programs under the Section 236 of the Trade Act of 1974, and community service or volunteer work. Next slide, please. And I'll pass it on to Ms. Kimberly.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. This is Kimberly Sandoval, Regional Manager with DPSS Self-Sufficiency Division, and I'll be going over the Medi-Cal work requirements. Medi-Cal work requirements are set to take effect January 1st, 2027. Medi-Cal recipients will be required to complete 80 hours a month in one or a mix of the following activities. So work, meeting 80 hours a month of work using the federal minimum wage to calculate the 80 hours. So the federal minimum wage is $7.25 times 80 hours equals 580. So if they're using work to meet the requirement, they need to be making a minimum of $580 a month. Next activity they can do is volunteer or community service, enrolled at least half-time in an educational program, enrolled in a work program or job training. Recipients will be required to verify they are meeting the work requirements at application and at each redetermination. For Medi-Cal, there will be a look-back period during the redetermination. So at their redetermination, they will be looking at the past 6 months. And if they are meeting the work requirements for at least one of the last 6 months, then they will be considered to be meeting the new work requirements. Next slide, please. So who is Medi-Cal work required? Adults ages 19 through 64 who are eligible to Medi-Cal because of the Affordable Care Act expansions, which is approximately 316,000 Medi-Cal recipients in Riverside County. Next slide, please. There are some people that could potentially be exempt from these new requirements. Those are children 0 to 18 years old, older adults 65 and older, pregnant people, including 1 year postpartum, regardless of birth outcome, parents with children ages 0 to 13, people with disabilities, people with serious health or mental health conditions or substance use problems, people who were released from jail or prison within the last 90 days, people on Medicare Part A or Part B, American Indians or Alaska Natives, foster youth or former foster youth, age 0 to 26. Next slide, please. So next steps. Our next step is to compile information. So currently we're working on creating a survey to send out to our partner agencies to assess what employment or volunteer opportunities are available in our county. We're also looking at program access and awareness for our customers. And then also we're working with our partners at Housing and Workforce Solutions. We have set up ongoing bi-monthly meetings where we will be able to share information and resources to help ensure our residents meet the new requirements and don't lose their benefits. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Tanya, I got a question. Did you want to make a comment or have questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Yes, I just wanted to provide some background as to why we invited, I'm sure you can see why the importance of having DPSS, Medi-Cal, and CalFresh or self-sufficiency staff as they're known at this meeting. These are major changes that are going to be impacting many of the individuals that we serve. My understanding is that previously homeless individuals were exempt from meeting the work requirements or volunteer requirements. And as we heard, the CalFresh requirements will be going into effect. Did you say July 1st? Is that this year?
It would be June 1st
June
for
1st.
the CalFresh,
Okay.
yes.
And then Medi-Cal will be in January. So I was really hoping that at this meeting we could begin with creating knowledge about those requirements going into effect and know that our plan is to continue spreading awareness. My hope is that in the next upcoming meeting that we could use a reserve time to really begin to talk about strategies on how our homeless continuum of care and all of your different agencies within this network can support and help individuals meet those requirements. So some ideas that I think we've been exploring, whether they are true possibilities or not, will depend on the feedback that we receive from you. But as an example, emergency shelters already, I think, may provide opportunities where people that are enrolled in their program or staying at their shelters may, volunteer to assist with preparing meals or assist with cleaning up sort of the common areas, participating in work, search related activities. So could those be opportunities that are captured and that those spaces signed off to report out to say these individuals completed their 20 hours per week as an example. So I'd really like to, again, reserve our March meeting as a space where we begin to sort of brainstorm on those ideas so that again, the goal here is to really limit the amount of interruptions that people have to their benefits, but that also know that we're meeting with DPSS and our county workforce services department to look at how we can also better track opportunities that exist for work for volunteers, so that as people come in, as they normally would into the self-sufficiency office, and let's say they're told you no longer qualify, or your benefits are going to be impacted because of this new upcoming policy, that they can be redirected to agencies where they can get those hours. So again, my understanding is this policy is quote unquote well intended because it's really designed to help provide workforce reintegration and community engagement to individuals. But we know that our homeless population oftentimes struggle with transportation. I mean, there's so many different barriers. And so really looking to our entire continuum of care network to bring in every idea of how we're going to help streamline and coordinate referrals for workforce and volunteer opportunities as appropriate.
Greg, did you have additional comments you wanted to add on?
Yeah, and respectfully, Tanya, I don't think this was a good intention at all. I think it's a slap in the face of poor people.
Well, you saw my quote unquote. So.
Yeah. I did want to highlight that a vast majority of the clientele that you all serve on this call probably going to qualify for exemptions under the behavioral health, mental health, and substance use things. So I think that's the kind of discussion I think too, Tanya, we should have is how do we inform COC members, especially the service providers, how they do those exemptions, and maybe that's a part of the launch thing that we do as well, because I think that's what we really have to look at here is that because of the unique nature of the clients, and I'm preaching to the choir to most of you, as you know, is that even when we get them into some type of transitional housing or permanent supportive housing, bridge housing, whatever you want to call it, shelter systems, they still have those issues, especially the mental health issues. And so I think we really need to make sure that we're aware and make our providers aware of how to get those exemptions.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion, Greg. Just to give you an example, our partner FQHC that is on site at our shelter, they literally can get us a disability verification once the appointment is made in an hour, because we have a partnership that's established and it's a PDF that's mailed out. So I think, all of the different partners in the community to have a conversation about how maybe to fast track those processes would be, like, to your point, help to address that, because you're right. People are still facing those barriers. So did Did we have another question? I'm sorry. Yes.
One of
Oh,
our
I just wanted to
speakers-
let you know that we also are sending out communication as well to the community, and we can also provide that as well as we get more communication on the exemptions and as the changes come, we can ensure that we get that information out to you guys as well.
Yep.
You
Thank
know,
you, Kanisha. I was gonna say we've agreed to meet bi-monthly, so we're meeting every other week with our county workforce and DPSS team to talk about this policy and again strategies to ensure that we're educating the public and again have good are ready to support residents who, again, whether they are exempt or need assistance obtaining those hours. So there will definitely be more needs to come. I say that truly in respect and want to acknowledge DPSS because they invited us to the table as soon as they learned that this would be going into effect, and I appreciate that they considered our homeless continuum of care, recognizing that, again, all of you are already connected to so many people and can support in this effort.
Kimberly?
I just wanted to add that for Medi-Cal, the work requirements are really brand new. And so while some people who have serious health or mental health conditions or substance abuse problems would be considered exempt, we're not exactly sure. We're still waiting on guidance from the state as to how we will determine that. I just want to also let you guys know that DHCS is also working with healthcare providers to try and see if perhaps there's some way to integrate their exemptions into the managed care plans that would communicate directly with the counties. So that's still something that they're working on.
Tanya, I'm just wondering, too, because you talked about how shelters and other providers could sign up to provide work hours. Would there be an opportunity to maybe set up some kind of a template of how you document that and how you sign up as an agency that can certify, that we could get the information out, or the case conferencing meetings that coordinated entry has with them? I don't know. I'm just think there's like lots of opportunities to really grease the skids.
Yes, that's definitely a discussion on the table. My understanding is there's already templates that exist because remember the work requirements are not necessarily new to all populations. From my understanding, it's just that the requirement now has expanded to all populations. So there are existing templates, and that is part of what we're exploring is maybe even having a dedicated page where CBOs, shelter providers could just go on, download, and sign
That's
for
a
their
great idea.
participants.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Glad to see we're ahead of the curve and working to plan and prepare. Okay, next agenda item. Consent item. At this time, we're going to take action to approve the February 18th, 2026 Continuum of Care minutes. Do I have a motion to approve? Hello, Continuum of Care. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Candace Graff from CVAG. A motion to approve.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Lisa
you.
Quinn.
Is
Valerie
in
Sturt, I second.
Who was the second?
I think there was two of us. Lisa Quinn from Valley Restart.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Do I have any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, the item passes. Thank you, guys. All right. Next agenda item. Standing items. CFC lead agency update, Ms. Tanya.
All right, let's jump in. I want to make sure we reserve time for our CES lead agency update. So I'm going to go through these at a high level. So today I will be providing an update on new team members, our youth homeless advocacy efforts, as well as an upcoming youth homelessness forum that is upcoming in April. In addition to celebrating a ribbon cutting of the Indio Youth Opportunity Center, I want to make sure you all know where that space is located so that you can continue to utilize that as a resource for young adults. In addition to some changes to our procurement requirements as part of our adherence to AB 339. And then the last 2 points, I'll be giving updates related to our HUD Continuum of Care program. The saga continues. And then last, I know we're always getting inquiries surrounding new upcoming funding opportunities. So I have a chart with the upcoming dates. So if we advance to the next slide, we want to welcome Samuel Pitts. He is our new contracts and grants analyst who started with our team about 2 weeks ago and is taking the place of James Moore, who previously served as a contracts and grants analyst on our team and with the county for over 20 years. James has retired. We had a wonderful celebration to send him off, and while we miss him, we're so thankful to have Sam on our team. If you are already working with us and we have an agreement with you, then it is very likely that at some point you'll be connected to Sam. And in case I didn't mention it, again, Sam has many years of contracting experience, which is what stood out to us among the other applicants, and comes to us from LASA, the LA Housing Services Agency that serves as a COC lead agency. Next. I wanted to highlight, if we can advance to the next slide, our youth homelessness advocacy efforts. We had 3 Youth Action board members, Tori Stevens, and Ebony Felix, who, in addition to 2 of our Office of Homeless Services staff, Maria Sarmiento and Clarice Banda, who facilitates these meetings, were all in DC last week as part of the 2026 National Summit on Youth Homelessness. While they were there and participating in workshops to expand their knowledge around youth barriers to housing, they also had a chance to advocate for additional resources to support the effort, which includes the alignment of the HUD definition of homelessness with other federal youth resources, which are much more flexible. Many of you know that we utilize, or HUD utilizes, the annual point in time count, which really provides a snapshot of who is experiencing homelessness in our community to capture need on the ground. And there are other federal funding sources that are much broader, such as the McKinney-Vento. And if you were at our last Board of Governance meeting, then you're going to like what we're talking about here, because the main talking point was that we needed to utilize definitions like the McKinney-Vento to ensure that we were capturing youth who were precariously housed or staying temporarily in a temporary housing situation. I want to say with friends or family, but we all know that youth in desperate situations may stay with an individual who opens their doors to them, but are not really stable. And so that was a big ask that I know our school districts in this space would support, in addition to, of course, asking for more resources towards the cause. So thank you to them for representing us well in DC last week. If you advance to the next slide, you'll see pictures of them with the entire group that was part of Hill Day. And at the table, the team is represented here, meeting with Senator Padilla's staff. Next, we wanted to encourage you and take this as a formal invitation to participate in our Youth Homelessness Forum. We are partnering with the Riverside County Fair Housing Council, who every year has an annual summit, and this year will include a youth homelessness forum that is being hosted by our Office of Homeless Services in partnership with our Youth Action Board and Youth Advisory Council. The event is scheduled for April 28th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Riverside Convention Center. More information to come on how to register in the upcoming days. We're really, really excited about that. Next, we wanted to, again, highlight, and the reason that I'm here in Indio today was for the ribbon cutting of our Indio Youth Opportunity Center. Our County Workforce Services Division has partnered with Goodwill Southern California and has a dedicated space here at our office in Monroe for youth where they can be quickly connected to a specialized career counselor who will help them with their educational and career goals. I wish I could take my camera and walk the space as I'm doing this, but they've dedicated or created a lounge where young adults can hang out while they're waiting to meet with a career counselor and grab snacks and food. And there's a computer lab and other resources here for them as well. Beautiful ribbon cutting event today that included our not only the Goodwill team, our Deputy Director, Stephanie Adams, Director Heidi Marshall, but also our 4th District Supervisor, Perez. And next, I talked about some changes to our procurement process. Really, I just wanted to make you guys aware that there was a new assembly bill that requires us to provide at least 45 days advance notice to unions when we are looking to procure for a specific service or extend an existing contract. And this assembly bill, again, is basically a new policy that all state departments, county departments, and city departments must follow. And so if you go to the next slide, we wanted to highlight how we are adjusting to this policy. And really it's that we're now building in this 45-day notice requirement into our procurement timeline. And really there could be, the impact could be lessened as long as we start earlier. That means, as an example, when we're going out to bid for HAP or for HUD Continuum of Care, as an example, our plan is now to begin those processes earlier. So there's really no impact in getting services started on the ground. I just thought it would be important to share that now, given that my last slide here will focus on some RFPs that we have in the pipeline. And so you're going to see some slight delays just because we're adjusting to this new requirement. And really the intent here is for the unions to have a chance to review and to determine whether any of the work that is being sought out for could be carried out by union employees. I will say that we are meeting with our legal counsel to review this further, as the funding streams that we receive, as example, through the HUD Continuum of Care, do require us to go through a formal bid process and not maintain those resources in-house. So more to come, but really just a disclaimer. Next, regarding the HUD Continuum of Care program, you've heard us provide regular updates. The last email from our team provided a summary of the court's decision to deny HUD's request to pause the preliminary injunction. HUD has been trying to move forward with releasing the fiscal year 2025 NOFO, but the courts ruled that such a move would be dangerous and impact housing assistance to hundreds of households. Locally, again, the impact is to 640 households, 887 individuals. Because the judge has stayed their current decision, our understanding is that HUD has filed an appeal, and the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit is the National Alliance to End Homelessness. And we heard during a presentation that they made yesterday that they're expecting the Court of Appeals to make a final decision by March 30th, which again is just 12 days away. So in the meantime, no changes. We've continued to work on renewing and preparing for the renewal of agreements that we currently have with agencies. Those agencies have been notified, but we just wanted to keep you posted just in case there are any changes. And lastly, I wanted to, as promised, provide an update of upcoming procurement or requests for proposal opportunities for your agencies to consider. We are anticipating releasing an RFP for our permanent supportive housing project in Moreno Valley sometime in April 2026. This is one that we had already released, but then needed to pull back as a result of making some adjustments to the scope. But because of AB 339, we're now having the union review that RFP before it is released. So more to come. There will be a bid conference when that opens. So if you're curious, wanting to know more about the project, feel free to email me, or you can participate in that bidders conference when it is released. The second opportunity that is expected in May 2026 is for 2 HUD COC rapid rehousing projects. One is specific for victims of domestic violence, and the second is prioritizing veteran and veteran households. Same here. Currently having the union review that RFP before it is released in May. And then the 2 big ones that I know generally garner the most interest are around HAP Round 6. There is about 5.1 being allocated to the Continuum of Care that we're expecting to release through a local RFP in summer 2026. And then the fiscal year 2026 HUD Continuum of Care NOFO, there's about 18.2 million in renewal funding. And again, this is funding that's already tied to existing projects. And the practice has been, as long as those projects continue to maintain a strong performance, that they can renew. Of course, any poor performing projects, funds could be made available through this competition. But every year HUD has DV or bonus funding that becomes available. And so we'll know the amount when that's released, but that is expected in summer 2026. And so that is all I have on my end. Happy to answer any questions that folks may have.
Does anybody have any questions? Tanya, can you remind me, is the YHDP PSH project limited to the region of Moreno Valley, the area of Moreno Valley, or do you have flexibility on siting?
Yeah, so the first RFP, the YHDP, is site specific in Moreno Valley. There is a portion of those beds that are scattered site that can be used across the county, and I believe we're targeting the Coachella Valley.
Bryce? Bryce, do you have a question? You're muted.
Sorry, I didn't know. I muted myself.
It's okay.
So yeah, my locations are in Moreno Valley. So I was just curious as to get more information on these programs and see, maybe if I can get involved with this somehow.
Sure, Bryce, I'll, if you want to drop your email in the chat box, I'll follow up with you in the next couple of minutes and we can set up time to talk about that project.
Okay, for sure. I'll go ahead and type that in the chat right now. Thank you.
Excellent.
So it's all good news. Lots of opportunities, everybody. Miss Tanya, thank you so much. I know this is a mountain of work behind this, so we hope you know that we appreciate you guys. Okay, agenda item E2, coordinated entry system lead update. Miss Lucy, you do have the floor.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Lucy Busto, Social Service Planner for the Coordinated Entry System. So I'll be providing the updates for the last month. And I will also be going over some areas of improvement that we figured out through the CES system. Next slide. So for the month of February, there were 824 members on the queue, 175 new additions done between the 1st and the 28th of the month. For cities with the highest number of those on the queue, we have Riverside at 207, which is about a 12% reduction from January's 236. And you also saw a reduction in numbers going from 126, going to 126 from the 140 something in 146 in January. And finally, Palm Springs numbers stayed roughly the same, adding only one member to its queue overall in the month of February. CES was also able to connect 21 members to housing opportunities, 3 to permanent supportive housing, and 18 to rapid rehousing. Of those 21 referrals, 5 were members aged 55 plus, and 3 were for TAE.
Lucy, do you know how long it took for those? I'm just curious, in the community queue on average, are you guys checking how long it's taking for folks to actually, once they're in the queue, get referred? I know it's based on their VI SPDAT score, but are you guys tracking that data?
I can double check with my team. I know it does depend on the acuity as well as length of homelessness, but I can double check with the team, yeah.
Thank you.
So for areas of improvement, CS has recognized some areas of improvements for referrals as well as CES trainings. So CS is partnering with agencies to incorporate meetings at least on a monthly basis to follow up on all CS referrals and ensure that the loops of those referrals are closed. We've already started incorporating them with Housing Authority and City of Riverside. So Housing Authority we meet bi-weekly, and just because of the number of referrals, and for City of Riverside, I meet with them on a monthly basis. CS has also recognized training gaps with new users into HMIS. So I've partnered with HMIS to send me any new users that are requesting CS access, and only after they've completed training with me at the bare minimum, the basics, can they be granted CES access. Next slide. So we're asking for anyone and everyone that is willing to spotlight your agency at the next CS partnership meeting. So some of you may know I hold CS meetings every other Tuesday, with one track being focused on resources, and agencies can come on and share their resources, services, and programs with our partners countywide. My other partnership meeting track focuses on case conferencing, where caseworkers can come on, present their clients and any barriers that they are facing, and those that are on the call, again, countywide, share recommendations and suggestions. And then, of course, I, and as a CES representative, will give you any feedback for CES related barriers that can be easily resolved. Slide. Other than that, that's all I have for you all today. So if there's any recommendations for agencies you'd like to see on partnership meetings, or any other recommendations for CES in general, please feel free to let me know. Email myself or our homeConnected.ruhealth.org email. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions for Lucy? I just curious, are we any closer to when we're replacing VI SPDAT with a different tool?
No, I don't have that
Greg is
information.
shaking
No.
his head. Thanks, Greg. Okay, just asked what I would ask. Thank you, Lucy.
No problem. Thank you.
Next slide. Okay, and Greg, perfect timing.
So there's a lot of information on these slides, but I'm not going to read everything. But I just wanted to highlight, as of February 20th, both houses of the state legislature, the Senate and Assembly, had to submit their bills. And so many of those will still go through committee. There'll probably be amendments and then pass, either die or get passed by each house. So the first one I wanted to highlight is AB 1165, California Housing Justice Act. This is an attempt basically by the state to get localities more involved in finance plans, in addressing homelessness performance metrics. We already do a great job. Karen's a great example of that. CVAG was brought up. The Regional Housing Alliance had an amazing meeting this morning. I have a feeling that the League of Cities may oppose this. I don't know that for a fact, but just because it's really encroaching on local control. But it is a good thing to at least have some type of statewide accountability or plan of what we're going to do, and especially more importantly, how we're going to fund it. The next one is AB 1573. It's land use and housing elements. So each year, counties and cities have to submit a report on their housing element. And within that, there tends to be targeted populations. So people with disabilities, eligible for development disability services. This bill would actually add victims of domestic violence as a target population. So this really sounds like a great bill.
Yeah.
Next slide, please. So we talked this one to death, the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Program, round 7. It's still right now at the 500 million level. However, there is a lot of advocacy. There's actually been a bill that's been proposed to raise that back up to $1 billion and kind of streamline some of the processing. What AB 1708 does is, though, it's clarifying that cities under 300,000 should be able to get COC funding. Cities in our jurisdiction can already apply for COC funding. This is being pushed by the League of Cities, and a lot of it has to do with some of the inequities in larger areas like LA Basin, basically, where there has so many cities. Again, this shouldn't be an issue to us, primarily due to the fact that we already allow cities to do that. CSEC, I'm not where, I'm sorry, California State Association of Counties, I'm not sure where they've landed on. The next slide, please.
Probably will oppose it, right, Greg? I mean.
Yeah. Because the problem is, if you get, like, even if you take 50 cities within the state of California and dilute that funding, we're not going to make a difference at all.
Yeah. You know, I wholeheartedly agree with you, right? It's a
yeah, I know you do. So the next one is 2162. This is county funding allocations for non-minor dependents and young adult. This is actually a great piece of legislation. It's basically raising the navigation and maintenance program from adults who are 18 to 24 and upping the age to 28. So again, it's giving a little bit longer window for those programs to help those transitioning age youth, so transitioning into adults. On the next slide would be AB 2351. This is a general plan annual report on shelter beds. Again, this is getting back to housing elements and requiring jurisdictions to report not only the current number of shelter beds, but what their plans are for doing that as well. We had to do that if you go for pro-housing designation through HCD, you have to do that anyway. So Riverside County already has that in it, but this is just getting more of the jurisdictions to comply with that as well. And then next page is the Senate SB 479. This is the homeless adult and family multidisciplinary personal teams. You all know we have great MDT teams here in the county, and a lot of counties do. This would allow city and smaller jurisdictions to actually form those. There's privacy issue rights around there, so I think that's what's mostly in the language of this bill, to make sure that that they have the opportunity to do that. And then on the next slide, AB 1556 is the Supportive Recovery Residence Program. This is a lot of wording, basically, just to say we want to support housing first. As many of you are aware, there is a lot of misconfusion and miseducation on what housing first is. We've had the conversation on many of these meetings that some jurisdictions just put people in a place and then don't do the wraparound services. And so there's, again, there's an uneducated thing out there that housing first is not working. We know in this county and many other counties throughout the country, actually, and jurisdictions realize that it works. Are there some challenges? Of course there are, but it is far better and more effective thing. So this is really just to say, I think it's coming from a Democratic Assemblyman, and I think he's just basically saying we're protecting housing first in the state. Because as you know, and this is an original, the original NOFO that HUD was going to send out was basically eliminating housing first. So the next page is 1899. This is an Office of Youth Homeless Prevention. Great, I think, is a great piece of legislation. So as many of you know, what currently where HCD is under the Business Consumer Services and Housing Agency. That's going to be coming into California Housing and Homeless Agency. And this is basically showing the intent of the legislature to create an Office of Youth Homelessness. And these are intent bills, which means they haven't fully worked out all of the verbiage on it, but legislators get these into the bill hopper so that they can at least work with other members and with staff to iron out the language and get supporters as well. And then second to the last, AB 1924, statewide homeless prevention strategy. Again, this is kind of similar to the one I talked about above, but this would require California Housing and Homeless Agency to develop that statewide homeless plan and funding. I think this one may have a better chance of passing because it's not mandating the smaller jurisdictions as part of it. It really is giving the direction to the newly formed department, which is, I think, the smarter way to go. And then the last one is AB 1880. It's called Pink Alert. So many of you are aware that there's a senior alert, like if a senior is in danger, with law enforcement and is homeless primarily, that they can do an alert and get access to sheltering services. This one is basically extending that to a pregnant person. And basically helps with getting them need of shelter and prenatal services. So I think it's a pretty cool. The last thing I want to highlight is federal updates. I won't do the HUD, no focus. Tanya covered that fantastically. Just to let you know that the Senate did pass about a week and a half ago now. It's called the American Dream to Housing Act. It is the largest pro-housing development package ever passed in the United States. There's a similar companion bill that is in the House. So right now they're in conference. And hopefully we'll work out the details, but this would be really beneficial to the actual construction of affordable housing. It doesn't provide a lot for homeless services, but as we all know, if we don't have the housing at the end, all the good work you're all doing doesn't help. So that's my report. I know a little bit longer today, but I'm happy to take any questions.
I just want to make a comment, Greg, because I see we have some of our other cities on there, and I want them to know why I said what I said about the HHAP legislation. Why I agree with you, because you talked about the fact that cities can already apply, but there's something that I think is important. This region focuses on allocation of funds based on need, and that legislation is written on just general population. Right. So to the good cities that I see that are here joining us today that have, homeless data from the pit, it shouldn't be based on general population. It should be based on need from homeless population. So I just wanted to mention that to our other cities who are on.
Well, and to that point, Karen, that's what has allowed the county to leverage more dollars, because we can show those regional approaches. The encampment grants are a perfect example of that. But even the HIP dollars that we went after, because we focused it on the high need areas, but not forgetting everybody either. So
yeah. Anybody else have any questions or comments about the updates from Greg? I'm excited to see you ended on that last exciting update. Let's hope to see if they can get it through. No, you don't know about money attached to that yet, Greg?
I don't yet. No. So.
Okay.
I mean, there's
super cool.
proposed levels, but none of that's final right away.
Do you see it as like a home?
Yeah.
Or like tax credit? How do you see it coming down the pipeline?
It's a combination of a bunch of those. So it's increased like home program, increased tax credits. There's a couple new things around manufactured housing. So
okay, cool. Wow, it's going to be like a bundled package. Cool.
yeah.
Oh, exciting stuff. Yay. Okay. If we don't have any other questions or comments, look at this. We're going to end on time. This is the informational items. No reports from the committees. You see all of the letters of support. We're always super excited to sign those. Bring them, bring them. We love to support you in obtaining grants. And it's not just the Continuum of Care, but Tanya's Office of Homeless Solutions also does letters of support. So please keep that in mind. There is an APR from Behavioral Health if you want to review the outcomes of the report. It's in the Google Drive for you. Next slide. Okay, call for agenda items for the next meeting. Anybody? Okay, next slide. Announcements. Okay, who has exciting announcements? I know it's like almost 5. It's hot, but come on, you guys are doing cool stuff out there. Don't be shy. Does anybody have something super exciting to tell us that you are working on? Anybody? Okay, going once. Okay, there we go. Yay, finally. Criselda, let's hear it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Criselda Varela. I'm here on behalf of the Inland Region Reentry Collaborative. I wanted to invite some folks out to the Coachella Valley Coachella Valley Community Forum. We're hosting a community event focusing on building community safety and reentry through collaboration. We really just wanted to kind of tap in with our Coachella Valley residents to find out what does public safety feel like, look like. We wanted to bring organizations to the table to give them some solutions, including some legal guidance, how they can protect themselves and their loved ones that are incarcerated. And again, any kind of reentry resources so we can work in collaborations and really lift up and bring solutions to the community so they don't feel alone. And that is on March 26th, Thursday, March 26th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the RAP Foundation in Palm Desert. Again, March 26th at the RAP Foundation. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. It's lovely to hear from you, my dear. Okay, I believe Carol, our dear Carol, you are up, my dear. Carol? There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is Carol Alba with Faith in Action. I'm very excited because we've made contact with the Riverside District Attorney's Department and found out that they have an arm or a special project of the office that will work with people that need record expungement or warrants or anything that has to do with the legal system. They will take referrals from agencies now for service to help people get their records expunged or anything that they need that's pertaining to the legal service. And this is all for free. And that was what was exciting. So many of the people that we work with have all these issues, but they don't have the money for a public or for a district attorney or for a legal help. But now this will be available through Faith in Action right now. So I'm very excited about that.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Any other updates? Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Sorry, Madam Chair. I
can provide. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, did someone else want to? Oh, Victoria?
Yeah, I think someone else unmuted also, but I wanted to provide an update. So I'm with Building Resilience Together. We opened up a resource center for youth transitioning out of foster care. We have hosted already 3 workshops for them and 2 community events. We had a soft opening and it's been really great. So I will send you an email to see if you guys wanted to come out and do a site visit and just check out all the things that the youth have been up to.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Miss Renee, let's hear it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think I'm in sync with somebody else with unmuting today, so apologize for that. I have a Blythe event coming up on April 2nd for the Blythe community, so I'm looking for county departments who are interested in hosting a table and providing resources to our wonderful families and community at Blythe. So if you are interested, please send me an email and I would be happy to coordinate that for you. I'm in charge of that event, so the more the merrier. So I've already reached out to a couple of you and arm wrestled some attendance. So if anybody else is interested, please let me know.
Thank you. Okay, Bryce.
Hello, everybody. So I didn't get to introduce myself. My name is Bryce Battle. I lead a company called Helping Hands Housing, where basically we provide low-cost housing to individuals in need. It's more of a permanent housing, even though they don't necessarily, some people come for a shorter amount of time, they're just maybe use that as a stepping stone. But I didn't have a big announcement, I guess, but I just did want to say that we're going to be expanding. My new location is going to be able to fit up to 10 people. I met Rainbow. That's how I came across this beautiful organization of COC. I met with her. I believe she runs Operation Safe House. I had a meeting with her and she gave me the information here. And so I'm just hoping to connect with all you guys to keep networking in the city. And like I said, so just a pleasure to meet you guys. And so, wish me luck on the new project of expanding.
That's wonderful. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, next slide. And it is adjournment, and if you'll forward to the next slide, we will see the upcoming meetings. And again, these slides are all in the Google Drive along with all of the other documents. Want to wish you all a beautiful rest of your evening. Thank you again for all the amazing work that you do. We appreciate you beyond words. So have a beautiful rest of your night, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.